Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Illumineer's Quest podcast. Wow, I just completely messed it up. It's no longer the Illumineer's Quest podcast. It's the Team Infinity podcast, and we've got Mo back with us again for this episode, where we're going to run through all of the set 8 announcements from the most recent Lorecast, where they announced all the stuff for Worlds and the rotations, all that stuff. But there were also a ton of cards that were revealed on stream. And a bunch of cards that were then launched after the fact on a couple like affiliate channels, like CNET got a couple, which was weird, but CNET got a couple, comicbook.com got a couple, the Gamer got a couple. So all these different, outlets got a couple. And so we're just going to kind of run through all of that we've got released thus far and start to see how this set's shaping up and see if we can come across any common themes. And so the first exciting one is Bambi. So we've now got Bambi cards in the game, which is really, really cool because I'm a huge fan of all of the animals in all the different movies. And so, having this past set 7 with a lot of Lady and the Tramp and other Aristocats characters with all the animals has been really fun. And so, yeah, we get to go ahead and jump in here to talk through all of these new cards. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into it. We've got, again, all of the, let me see how do I blow this up? I wish I was a better Mac user. Window. Of course, there it goes. What's the Safari? I've probably done this before. How do I zoom? Like zoom.
Is
Zoom
it where you
in.
take your fingers and press them to the side there?
That plus. So is it this? I think no, that's not it. I can do it with my trackpad, but that's like way over there. Okay, we'll just do it with the trackpad then. Yeah, you're smarter than I am. Okay, so Bambi. Little 2-cost, 3-2 vanilla quest for 1. Not a ton to say about good old Bambi, I guess, obviously, because it's a vanilla. But you know what I will say? Art is on point for sure. So,
And if we get a Floodborn, there's been worse shift targets that have seen play in the past. Like a 3-2 is serviceable.
that's a very solid point. Anytime you see vanillas, you can't discount them because the Floodborns need solid shift targets for them to be playable a lot of the times. And so, yeah, having serviceable shift targets, like you said, is very important. But then moving on to Flower, good old Shy Skunk here, 3/3/3 stat line, quest for 1. Has the ability that says whenever you play another character, look at the top card of your deck, put it either to the top or the bottom of your deck. So kind of cool.
So I like this card. I really like it with one card in particular. I think it really is fun with Rockstar and a nice little amethyst amber aggro build. So you can kind of just scry the top of your deck, find a bunch of 1-drops, play them, and just have like a huge board out of nowhere.
I like that a lot. That's not where my head went. My head instantly went to Oswald just because that's been the flavor of the set on and off this go. But yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, anything, that gets more powerful when you know what's coming, obviously that helps a lot with. I mean, Jafar, Zan had a, good Jafar thing. And so if there's any, synergies there going on with Jafar for you to be able to find, your lamp or your whole new world or whatever it is faster, I think there's a lot of synergies. And again, a 3-cost 3/3 isn't, the worst thing ever either. So.
Not bad.
Okay, Force Duel. Your characters, 5-cost inkable action. Your characters gain Challenger +2, and when this character is banished in a challenge, return that card to your hand this turn. They get +2 strength while challenging. So this is kind of interesting one.
In a world, Zach, where Be Prepared rotates out, this card kind of nuts in a lot of ways. And honestly, it's got a lot of potential behind it. Just the ability to make all these swing trades, especially in Amethyst Mirrors, is really strong.
Yeah, I think again, there's been so much emphasis the past couple months on the evasive wars and the ability to kind of swing trades with your Crickies and all the Chernadog stuff that has been a little bit up and down the set. I think as the challenging, we'll just call it the challenge wars in general come, the Amethyst wars have always been like that. And dropping one of the, being very patient and then dropping one of these at the right time can wipe out your opponent's board and fill your hand at the same time. And that's, I would say, normally something that you're wanting to do. So is it fantastic? Don't know. Does have a lot of potential? I would say for sure. I want to know what your opinion is on Thumper before I say anything, because I'm very interested to see what you think. Thumper is a 2-cost inkable in Ruby that is a 0/3, but has the ability that says exert. Chosen character gets +3 strength this turn. So
it's really interesting when you think about the tempo of the game. It can like force your 1-drop to trade up into about any 1-drop, so it feels kind of good in like a Ruby Amethyst build. It can like steal some tempo away by forcing your 1-drop to trade into their 2-drop otherwise. But then, your opponent gets to see all this coming. So all in all, it's interesting. It's an interesting card that may find some tech love, but I'm not like floored by it.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I might be just like slightly higher on it. I'm very interested because, to your point, they see it coming, but then it like very much makes them question all of their decisions, because if you have a 1-drop on board, maybe it's a 1/3 and it becomes a 4/3. Yeah. Or if you have a rush character coming next turn, Amethyst and Ruby and Amethyst have a lot of historical 3-cost rushers. And so if you rush them in, exert, give them the ability, and they turn into a 6/3 or a 7/3. If you've still got your Fox, like, that's interesting.
I just thought like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. This comes out on turn 2. Crab comes out on 3. Your 1-drop can smite anything.
Yeah.
Turn sideways.
It's again, is it fantastic? Not sure yet, but the potential is definitely there. I'll just say that. Okay. And last one for this little set of cards we have is the Friendly Owl. It's a 2-cost 2/2 quest for 2. Again, vanilla. Maybe we have a shift target here. Maybe we have a Floodborn that goes along with the Friendly Owl. But yeah, another good vanilla for Ruby.
Yeah. It's there. It's a card.
It's there, and it is a card. That's true. Okay. So moving over to a couple Aladdin themed cards here. We've got the Scarab, which says it's a 2-cost item and it's uninkable, and it says exert, pay 2 ink, return an illusion character from your discard to your hand.
So I really think illusions need some form of like an advantage generating card beyond like just, this adding them back, or Jafar playing them. Well, spoilers, Jafar playing them for free. I really wish if we get an illusion card that says draw a card, this is really interesting. Like,
imagine if you play a giant cobra and you discard an illusion card to then, get your lore, and then you just pay 2 ink and then get that illusion character back. Like, there's definitely a world where these illusions get really annoying because they all have overpowered abilities. Because they're easily banished with actions, or on the flip side, you play your giant cobra, it gets banished, which they kind of have to get rid of it eventually, obviously, and then you just get it right back. Like, there's a world where you're just cycling through those and just getting a ton of free chip lore. Like, that sounds really enticing too.
Definitely a card that's going to scale with the illusions in the set.
That's a good point. It'll slowly but surely get better and better as more illusions are added. Okay, the first Jasmine card, and I'm glad we got to this one first because there's more Jasmine to come, and that one is going to have a lot of discussion around it, I think. But the first one is a 1-cost Sapphire Jasmine. That's a 1/2, the quest for 1, that says when you play this character, you may give another chosen character resist +1 until the start of your next turn. That seems pretty solid. I mean, for a 1-drop.
I'm so mad that the word another is there. Like, just why can't she just give herself resist?
That's true.
+1, live through a storm, and then your shift target's safe to go through.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and again, we'll get to the shift target here in a second. But yeah, I honestly, that didn't cross my mind, but now that you say that, that is a little bit of a downer. But in general, I think, if you're playing either a Heroes or an Allies deck, which both are, Sapphire Steel, Smee will very much appreciate you playing him or Jasmine on 3 and, either protecting him or letting him swing into something and, live through the challenge. So I think there's a lot of potential there with this Jasmine card. But yeah, moving on to the Aladdin here, we see here as well, which is a Sapphire Steel card. So Dual Inks, a 6 cost 1/9. Pretty crazy stat line. I think this is the first time we have something with 9 willpower that isn't, just one of those like massive crazy bodies like Taka or Goofy, the Knight. And on top of him being a 1/9 stat line, he's also a bodyguard. So that's crazy. And it says he has the ability that says whenever one of your ally character quests, you may remove 2 damage from this character. So if you're not playing Ruby, good luck getting rid of Aladdin. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So this card's kind of nightmare fuel against other decks that aren't Ruby.
Yeah.
It's so powerful, and there's so many good allies in the color combinations. And there's even some interactions to give him ward to protect him a little bit with
Sure.
Alice.
Sure.
I definitely think you have to look at this card if you're a Kiwi player. You may not look at it long, but you have to at least look at it.
It is, I think I said, but he is a 6 cost inkable, so it's a little bit more of an expensive bodyguard. For 9 willpower, you kind of have to be. But I agree. I think this is one that you definitely have to look at, especially with all the ally synergies that are coming that we've started to see. There very well could be a way to cheat out, Bianca cheats herself out early with ally synergies, but maybe there's a way where you can cheat out other allies quicker within the ally synergy, and then Aladdin can be a 5 cost or a 4 cost, 1/9 bodyguard, which would just be bonkers.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dual Links, they released a massive list here of a lot of the Dual Link characters, and Mo, we're starting on the best one here for you because Mr. Puppy Synergy over here is getting the 1 cost puppy that we needed. And boy, I'm going to give you my opinion on this one first. I think it's pretty crazy. I know it's a 0/2 and it's uninkable, but it's an Amber Sapphire puppy card for the puppy deck, but it has ward and it gets +1 lore while you have another puppy character in play. So, I mean, is it fantastic? No, but we did need a 1 cost puppy and we got it.
It basically is one of the key pieces the deck really missed, looking for synergies with Rockstar Stitch, looking for synergies with the puppy cards already existing, and just giving something for Thunderbolt to actually protect is nice. This card's really cool. I
like it a lot too.
Very excited. And it's got ward. No.
It's pretty insane. I have to say, so staying on the puppy theme, not I guess puppy deck theme, but just puppy theme in general. We have a new Bolt card who's a 3 cost inkable Amber Steel card again, and it's a 0/4 that quests for 4. And has the ability that says this character enters play exerted. I don't really care about that, to be honest. If I'm thinking about this as a Steel Song player, like on turn 1, on turn 2, I'm playing 2 singers, and on turn 3, I'm playing this because my opponent has an empty board because I've banished both of their characters with my songs from my 2 singers. That's my initial thought, at least.
I think on the play, it's going to be very hard to stop this card for hitting you from 4, just for the reasons you said. That line is just so, it just kind of stops your opponent from interacting a little bit through there, unless you're playing against Emerald. And, no, this card's going to make some people very upset.
A 3 cost 4 lore character is crazy.
It's inkable.
Yeah, I mean, the other line that I thought of was, doing the shift queen on 2. So it's queen on 1, shift queen on 2, and then you obviously have a 5 cost singer in play. And so you can, sing Zeus, you can do whatever you need to help clear up the board. But then if your opponent decides they need to get rid of said queen, they can attack into said queen, and then you both have empty boards, and then you're, resetting your board with a 4 cost questing Bolt, which is pretty insane. So I really like this one. I think this has a ton of potential. This is definitely towards the top of my list from stuff that was released today.
Yeah.
Speaking of puppies that have a lot of potential, getting to a new lady card, the Decisive Dog is another Amber Emerald lady for the Chernadogs deck. It's a 1-cost Inkable 0/3 quest for 1 and has 2 abilities. It says when you play a character, the character gets +1 strength this turn. And while this character has 3 strength or more, you get +2 lore. So puppy spamming is coming, let me tell you.
It's a 1-cost 3 quester. I
That's
don't
true.
even like. You go play on 1. It survives storm. Like you can play it into a Cinderella. That's wild. But like you play her, and then you just play Tramp and another 1-cost on 2, and you just get to quest for 3. You're like right in your opponent's face, and it's like, oh. But then she scales so well with that plus
Well,
strength.
you have to play 3 characters. It's 3 strength or more, so you couldn't do it on turn 2. But
You play Tramp on 2. You play
yeah.
Tramp on one other character.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, this just fits so perfectly into the lady and the tramp synergies too, because with the big tramp, you're just trying to spam a bunch, to get a bunch of stuff, to spam a bunch of characters to get him out quick. I mean, this is a churn a dog card for sure.
Yeah, it's a huge boost to an already very strong deck.
Yep, the team chat this morning was like, all right, well, Chernadogs is going to be around forever because all the other meta decks are getting cycled out when the rotation comes, and Chernadogs basically is a set 6 and 7 and 8 deck at this point. So,
Yeah, getting even better. This is a perfect replacement for Merfolk. It's just better in every regards.
yeah, it's a crazy one for sure. I think there was a little bit of question marks around the Amber Amethyst Duel Links last set. We have Alma Madrigal Duel Link this one. That's a 6-cost 5/5 that starts to see a little bit more of those synergies to make it more worth it. And her ability says once during your turn, whenever one or more of your characters sings a song, you may ready those characters. So again, that's really exciting. Again, I think the one thing that is lacking is a lot of impactful songs that make that worth it. But once you get there, this could be really annoying too, because you're just sitting there readying all your stuff up and making it really hard to actually get any board clears.
And like it's a little bit of a pop-off play with their characters that let you gain lore in a turn.
Sure.
This card is really interesting for that deck because it allows you just to like set up some huge multiple singing turns, but uh, it doesn't really fix a lot of problems. It just makes them better at what they're already good at. So
Sure.
we'll have to see if they get anything else out of this set.
I agree with that one for sure. Okay, moving over to Candy Drift, a 2-cost inkable action for Amber and Ruby. Draw a card. Chosen character of yours gets +5 strength this turn. At the end of your turn, banish them. That's kind of crazy. I missed that on my initial read. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're needing to hit a location pretty hard, could be crazy. Also, there's not if you're leaning on the Amber side of this Amber Ruby, there's not always a bunch of strength, and so that could definitely help with that as well. But I guess if you're going to go into a challenge and get banished anyways, then the banish them at the end of the card text doesn't really matter all that much. So
The worst thing about this card is that it's Amber Ruby.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Like,
Yeah,
if this was in any other like monocolor, it would just be 100% auto include, I think, because
yeah.
it like replaces itself. It lets you trade your character for theirs. Like you can trade up, huge. Makes dealing with Maui Shark just the easiest thing in the world if you have an evasive in the deck. But
And it says draw a card. Anytime you have something that says draw a card, it's at least worth looking at.
yeah, really cool card. Want to see more stuff out of the deck.
Okay, Madame Medusa, another Amethyst Ruby dual color. We got 3 costs, inkable 3/3. Quest for 1. When you play this character, you may deal 2 or more damage to another chosen character of yours to return chosen character with 2 costs or less to their player's hand. I don't know. This one's, I mean, my initial read on this one was like, oh, it's kind of cool. But now the more I think about it, it's like, probably not. But who knows?
It's a little awkward on curve. You're playing Diablo, you're playing Cusco. There's synergy there, but just the bounce, I think, is not going to be crazy impactful unless you're against songs. This seems great to play against songs.
Sure. Sure.
But beyond that, I don't know. She's not terrible. she's just not terrible. She's an extra little form of control for Ruby Amethyst in the early game. I'm sure she'll be played. Like
Yeah,
that alone
that's a fair
is
point.
good enough.
Okay, moving on to another Amethyst Steel card. We got Abu, a 6-cost inkable, which, by the way, I have to just say I haven't said this yet. I love this art. This is definitely one of my more favorite arts of the set. Abu's a 3/7 stat line with Vanish. Whenever this character quests, gain lore equal to the lore of chosen opposing character. That's pretty cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I love the art. I love the elephant theme. I think this might be the worst card in the set so far.
Oh, I don't get me wrong. I don't disagree with it, or I agree with that very much. When I was like, I wish this was a better card because this is just very awkward.
Yeah, like he's got a not so hot illusion stat line. Questing for lore on opposing characters is you get to gain. Oh wait, so
Yeah.
you get your lore plus what's
Plus
on there.
so I mean, there's definitely something there, but a 6-cost Vanish character.
Yeah,
I don't know. I still agree. I still think this is not a very great card, but because if you've done a good job like keeping your opponent's board clear, then that means nothing, right? Like you're basically saying, if I'm in a really bad situation, then I have this cool ability. But if you're in a really bad situation, then it probably doesn't matter that he has this really cool ability. So
it's probably not questing.
yeah, he's probably not. Pull the lever, a 3-cost inkable action for Emerald Amethyst. Choose one, draw 2 cards, or each opponent chooses and discards a card. This is a very Emerald Amethyst card for sure.
By that, do you mean it's probably not going to see play?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I also mean that if Diablo gets reprinted and, not Diablo, sorry, the Ursulas get reprinted and we're going to have those in the rotation, that this is a decent like option to not like to deal with discard because it can't get jumped by your 2-cost Ursula like friends can. So is it fantastic? No, but do I see some merit in it depending on the way the meta shakes out? Yeah, I think it could have some potential.
Yeah, it depends on what rotates and what stays. Like, Hypnotize is the card that comes to mind when I think about this card. And, like, this is objectively probably just a worse Hypnotize for decks, but Hypnotize could be rotating. It could be out. So
Sure,
this can really, like,
sure.
find a way to be either a worse Hypnotize or a worse Friends, but maybe that's good in the coming meta if you don't have those cards.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good point. We don't know. It might not be there. Ice Spikes, however, this one I'm very intrigued with. It's a 2-cost inkable Blurple card. Whenever you play this item, exerts chosen opposing character, and then has an ability that's once on play, you can exert it for 1 ink, and you can exert opposing item, and it can't ready at the start of the next turn. So I don't think that's necessarily super like impactful being able to do that with items. I think you're either like extremely heavy in items or you're on no items at all as far as deck synergies go, and so maybe there's a little bit of like dime, kind of stopping power, but ultimately I think this is just a very good low cost item to, tempo early game, and then also be able to banish with Bell to shift in, and then, like retrieve with Tamatoa, and then like replay and, just keep exerting characters for cheap. So that's kind of cool.
I think this card is probably enough to tip the scales for Blurple to start working in the big Tamatoa into their scheme. Um, I'm already been toying with that a little bit, but it just
Sure.
feels so strong in that deck because of the bounce aspects. So
Absolutely.
yeah, this card's really good. This card's really good. The like you said, the exert chosen opposing item. It can hit like a fishbone quill. It can hit, stop a Scrooge from coming down for free potentially. Hit a dime, but those aren't hugely impactful. You'll probably do it if you have the extra ink,
Yeah.
or if you
Good,
have to.
good point. Good point. Okay. Dormouse, a 2-cost inkable, Christmas card, Emerald Ruby, a 1/2 stat line quest for 1, and has the ability that says when you play this character, you may put 1 damage counter on chosen character. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of merit there, but Emerald Ruby needs a lot of help before this gets anywhere.
It's an interesting enabler. I wish it had a few more keywords where it could have some interactions with anything. Yeah, it's probably going to be just another card that Damage Matters needs, but it's not good enough to make it a deck yet.
Yeah, sure. 2 cost inkable hero Hamada, a Baja Blast or Emerald Sapphire card, 1/3 stat line, quest for 1, has the ability that says exert to ready chosen Floodborn character. So, continuing on the hero Floodborn synergies there. I think there will be some place, where somebody tries to make this work because it is kind of cool and it's relatively cheap, but who knows? We'll see.
Y'all are cooked. Oh, this card's broken.
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God. I should have known you'd love this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I really think he's cool. I like the idea of establishing the shift hero, shifted on something, so he's
Sure.
evasive, he's warded, and then ink geysering your opponent so they can't play some of the easier outs to this card, and then you just look for ways to end the game at that point. And I think this card just kind of says, "Hey, you get to quest for 3 again, or whatever hero quest for." Like,
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
that's what I mean. It does. It just says ready chosen Floodborn character. It doesn't say they can't quest or they can't do anything else. Like, yeah, you can just straight up quest again. So
Zach, oh my gosh,
you didn't realize that?
it's broken. No, it's broken. It's broken. Quote me on this, but it's Medal of Heroes time to shine, Zach. You know I love that card.
You and I have both been talking about that forever. I actually made a Medal of Heroes deck last night, and I'm not even kidding. Just tinkering around. So there's a world for sure. Okay. Don Carnage, 3 cost uninkable, 3/2 stat line, Emerald Steel card. He's evasive, as Don tends to be. And then he has the ability that says whenever you play an action that isn't a song, chosen opposing character gains a reckless during their next turn. This is, again, very dependent on your non-song actions, which have historically been very mid to bad. So
It's very much oh, that's neat kind of green card where there's probably going to be some niche use for it in the meta, but it's uninkable and it's going to feel bad in like half your matchups. So,
yeah, the uninkable part really, really hurts it. Yeah, I agree. Mulan, 4 cost uninkable again, unfortunately. 3/3 stat line is reckless, evasive, and can challenge ready characters. There's a bunch of text on it, but it boils down to that. Evasive, reckless, and can challenge ready characters. For a 4 cost inkable reckless, I would really hope the stat line was better than 3/3. I guess is my only real feedback on this one.
yeah, this is just kind of, I guess he's not evasive, but she's kind of worse than the card from this set, the one that can challenge ready characters and then whenever
Li Shang, yeah.
Yeah, Li Shang,
Yeah.
thank you.
He's a 2/3, but still,
Yeah, he becomes like a 4/2 or something once he
that's
has.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Once he has damage. So yeah, I definitely would continue to go for that one over it in my Ruby Steel Challenger deck. But get out a 6 cost uninkable action for Ruby Sapphire. It says banish chosen character, then return an item from your discard to your hand. This is just a combination of Dragonfire and like returning something to your hand. So is it fantastic? No. Do I think there's some merit here? Sure.
So all these uninkables really conflict with the current nature of the deck. And post rotation, if you don't have access to cards like Sisu, like Be Prepared, I think a card like this suddenly gets a lot more valuable. And a card like the Beast from this last set suddenly gets a lot more playable.
Sure.
The deck is really interesting and fun. And there's a lot of like power to it, but it's also innately just kind of worse than just playing Coil Sisu.
Well, true. Yeah, Coil Sisu will always be the best if it's around. Bernard, 2 cost uninkable, 2/2 stat line, quest for 1. When you play this character, if you have an ally character in play, you may draw a card. Depending on how the ally stuff turns out, this could actually be pretty decent. A 2 for 2/2 isn't great. But we've shown that there's merit to dock. And so if you're just like going super low to the ground ally stuff with your Sapphire Steel, then I don't know, maybe there is some merit here.
Yep. I think if he was inkable, we wouldn't even question it. But like, he's
Very
just
true.
solid. Like, I'm not mad.
Yeah, very true. Okay, another one of my potentially favorite cards for the deck, or for the set thus far. I'm starting with the big one. Bambi, a 3 cost uninkable 1/1, quests for 3, so that's crazy, and has the ability that says when you play this character, gain 1 lore. When an opponent plays a character, return this character to your hand. Like, I mean, try to get rid
Gosh.
of Bambi without having any steel interaction.
This card is definitely my favorite revealed so far, and it's so fun. It reminds me of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card of all time from 12 years ago, Wind Up Rabbit. If there's someone in the comments that knows Wind Up Rabbit, let me know. I'll send you a card or a pack of cards or something in the mail. But like this, I just, it's that. It's so much fun. It's just like a little constant threat to be able to put more pressure on the board with that 3 lore pip, but
Yep.
also it just gets you a lore every turn you play it. So like anytime you can fit it in, it's great. I don't know if it's a green purple card, sadly, but I do think it is a world where this finds some love.
Yeah, this will definitely have some a home. What that home looks like right now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's emerald. I'm not sure if it's sapphire. I'm not sure, what the case might be, but it's definitely somewhere. We got another card. Like I thought that was Bambi at first. It's not. It's Faline, I guess. It's a 4-cost uninkable 2/4 stat line that's evasive. Quest for 1. While you have a character in play with more strength than each opposing character, this character gets +2 lore. So dealing back with the Flynn synergies a little bit. Probably not great, but if you're going back into the Flynn, Maximus, Maui lines, then maybe there's something there.
Yeah, don't hate it. Kind of bad genie though.
True.
Yeah.
A Twitter padded. I don't know what I'm saying. 1-cost inkable action in Ruby. Chosen character gains evasive until the start of your next turn. If we're playing evasive wars, still in set 7, 8, or in set 8, 9, then there's a world where this is really good. But this is like incredibly meta dependent.
Like, I think it's really cool that this works with Shadow Finder. Like,
Oh, true. Yeah.
a lot of stuff rush for 1, and you can find some clean ways to take down a opponent's Maui Shark.
Yeah.
I like this card. I like this card a lot. You can
Yeah.
even add it back with Maui Shark. Like, there's so much synergy there. It's really cool.
I agree. I think there's definitely potential for sure. Okay, now I think this one has some duplicates, and so we're just going to run through this one kind of fast because this is the end of it. But we have the big Jafar of the set, and so we talked about in our last episode on the new set champs card being playable as well. This is the set champs card for this set, the Jafar High Sultan of Lorcana. Love the subtext on that one. Love the art on this one. 5-cost uninkable amethyst steel card for 4/4 stat line, quest for 3. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card and then choose and discard a card. If it's an illusion character that is discarded, you may play that character for free. I mean, this is like very good, right? Like it's not just me that thinks that. Like I'm not crazy.
It's very powerful. It's 5-cost uninkable, so it's costly. But the thing is this card is a house against anything that does not play steel. And even if you play steel, you need to have the Zeus or the strength to be able to take it out. And if you can't, you just like the next turn, they get to play something for free. Something that we could see in them even 6 cost is the highest illusion we've seen.
Yep.
Like they've just cheated out so much ink there, and that's terrifying. This card's going to be a nightmare to deal with if I'm playing Emerald Amethyst. I'll just say that.
This is the ultimate Jafar deck card. Like if you're already playing a 2-cost and a 3-cost Jafar and they're like trying to just swat everything away to keep you from shifting the big nasty striking illusionist and playing a whole new world to draw a bunch, like you might be out of your ruby or your steel removal by this time. And then it's like, oh crap, what do I do now? I mean, this is the perfect lamp synergies. You have a lamp on board, you pop it, you draw 2 cards, you find the illusion character you want, you quest, you get 3, you play that illusion character for free. If it's a Cobra, you discard a card, you get 2 more lore. Like this is just a nutty card. Another set champs card that I am getting a play set of, let me tell you.
What if they release an illusion genie?
Oh my God, get out of here, man. Don't give me that. I'm like, we haven't talked about it yet because we've just been so busy with all these announcements, but I did win a set champs recently with the Jafar wheel deck, and I am a Jafar gamer now, let me tell you. So that don't get me too hype on that one, but I guess what we're talking about Enchanted is we got to move over to the other Enchanted, which is the Jasmine shift target from the Jasmine we talked about earlier, which is a 4-cost inkable 2/5 stat line shift 2. So very few Shift 2 cards in the game, so that's really kind of cool. It has the ability that says whenever this character quests, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal an ally character and put that character in your hand. Put the rest to the bottom of your deck. So a little bit more draw, a little bit more Kiwi/ally synergies here. I like this one a lot.
I think this card's pretty incredible. I think it gets a lot done. Sure, it dies to Brawl, Medusa, whatever, insert red card here. But like the fact that it can replace itself on play, or like you shift in quest and it replaces itself immediately. And like if it stays on the board, it's just going to provide so much advantage. I think this is a really good card. The only downside is the shift targets so far are pretty lackluster, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't really want to be playing that other or the Jasmine we talked about earlier on one because it doesn't give her self resist. But honestly, this might be a big enough payoff where you just play it anyways. So
I think you do.
yeah,
It's so good.
okay, Minnie Mouse, Daring Defender is one of the promo cards for this set. It says 0/8, 4-cost inkable bodyguard. This one's scary too. It's a 0/8, but it also says this character gets +1 strength for each 1 damage on her. Yeah. So if you've got to ram 3 characters into her, by the time you're ramming the third character into her to banish her, she's swinging back and banishing that character too. So it's a pretty cool one, I think. Yeah, but again, it's Amber Ruby. So
the worst thing about it is it's Amber Ruby, and like they may fix that this set. This is a really interesting card. Once again, dies to all red removal, but against everything else, it looks pretty good.
I agree. The non-enchanted version of Jafar, the non-enchanted version of Jasmine. We have some more illusion characters or some vanish/illusion characters. So a 3-cost magic broom, 2/4 stat line quest for 2, and your other illusion characters gain challenger +1. I can see this being pretty solid.
Yeah. I feel like it's fine. Like you play it and then your Raja can slap something for 4. Like it feels pretty good.
Yeah. And it quests for 2 on top of everything else. So I think there's definitely a world where that one's pretty solid. Palace Guard, another Vanish character. It's a 1-cost inkable 1/4. I think you said this earlier that when we were talking on the team stuff, that a 1/4 is really good because it like lives through all of the Steel Song nonsense, but it's a Vanish character, so then it doesn't live through all the Steel Song nonsense kind of stuff. And so this one's in like a really weird spot where again, I think it's like incredibly meta dependent. Like it could be really good, it could be really bad. We don't really know yet.
I don't even love it against the decks that it's like good against. I think it's fine. I think if there's enough Vanish stuff to make Vanishes, you need just like a critical mass of Vanish in your deck or illusions. I think it's good, really good. But
one of my towards the top of my favorite arts from the set, a 5-cost inkable Rapunzel in Emerald, a 2/5 stat line quest for 2. Has evasive and then has the ability that says whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't quest during their next turn. So, it's not like a reckless thing. So it's not quite as good as like giving them reckless where they, have to do something or it like puts them in an awkward spot. It just keeps them from questing. But, if you're kind of on, a more aggro line or you're, trying to come from behind and do some things, then it can very much, turn the tide. So I like this one. I would like to see how this fits into some, some potential strategies, but on the surface, it's not like crazy cool.
Yeah. It like, in a world without Ruby, this card's really interesting. Otherwise, it probably just goes in the pile of really interesting cards that you would love to play.
Maybe Brawl gets rotated though. We don't know. If Brawl gets rotated, that like opens up a very big floodgate of crazy things. We have a new Pegasus. I mean, I'm sorry, Vanellope card. That's a 2-cost 3/1 with evasive. That's basically a Pegasus. So, yeah, we've seen that those have some merit, especially in the evasive wars.
Yeah, there may be some racer synergy eventually, but that's about it.
We've seen all of these. Those are all cards we've gone through before. I think we've seen most of these. We've talked about all of those or all of these except for Bruno now at this point. Bruno's a 7-cost uninkable 3/7 stat line. Quest for 2. It says whenever this character sings a song, you may draw a card for each other character you have in play. That's kind of expensive and uninkable.
Shift? What's his text above the effect?
Floodborn Ally Madrigal.
Oh no! Is he a shift or like?
Yeah, shift 5.
Oh, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Oh,
Interesting.
I very much do hate that. So we feel very different about this one. A 7 cost uninkable, which again, we've said there's not a ton of songs that you're like trying to necessarily play here. I don't know. Maybe we just have like a super cracked out Madrigal deck at this point. We talked about Mini. We talked about, well, we haven't talked about Stitch yet. So Stitch, a 4 cost inkable, 3/4 stat line, quest for 1, says during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may draw a card. Or you may draw a card and gain 1 lore. So this very much feels like a challenger deck card for your Ruby Steel. Those decks tend to, run out of draw. And so that seems like a decent way to do that.
Yeah, Ruby still likes that a lot.
Tiana, a 4 cost uninkable, 2/4 stat line, quest for 1. Is a singer 6 and has the text on this one is covered up, but I think it's whenever you play a song, each opposing character gets -1 strength until the start of your next turn. Is what I saw on a different page. So there's definitely some merits there. Again, depending on the meta, if it's a very challenger heavy meta, if it's if you're in a Ruby matchup, it could be it. But 4 cost uninkable is like very, very tough to overcome.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 more and then we're done. This Iago we've seen from the D23 promo. It's a 4 cost 3/3 inkable. Whenever you have another exerted character in play, this character can't be challenged. Probably too high of a cost for him, but
he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah,
Be Nightmare and Sealed.
It's all right. Okay, last card. Pinocchio, strings attached, a 0/4. 4 cost inkable and amethyst that quest for 2. During your turn, whenever you ready this character, you may draw a card. You're probably not getting to ready this character. So
yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do with this card. Like, once again, the genie's not rotating. Just play him and draw.
Yeah. Just play and draw 1. I mean, he is evasive, and so I guess that does change like him being able to like live through a turn and ready. But I still don't think it's. Oh, there's 2 more. Still don't think it's very great. These ones, Donald is an 8 cost inkable, 4/8 stat line, quest for 2, and has an ability that says for each item named the nephew's piggy bank you have in play, pay 2 less to pay this character. And then has another ability that says give all of your other characters an ability that says exert to draw a card this turn. I'm very interested in this Donald card, but as you mentioned in the team chat earlier, every other single Donald card in the game right now is very mid, and so it doesn't have a ton of merit because the nephew's piggy bank character says if you have a character named Donald Duck in play, you pay 1 less to play this item. And exert for chosen character get -1 strength until the start of your next turn. And so the piggy bank and Donald are supposed to have a bunch of synergies together. The current Donalds aren't very good, so it's harder to get the piggy bank out, which makes it harder to get this bigger Donald out. I am very intrigued with this bigger Donald, though.
Anytime you can play an 8 cost for free, potentially, you got to think about it. Like,
it's true.
Is this I think it needs at least 1 more good card or 1 broken card, and then it's a thing. Or just like, yeah. But right now, it's there. It's a thing. It's there.
I agree. Okay, favorite card that has been released thus far. What's your number 1?
Oh, my favorite? Gosh. So my favorite, like competitive aside, is definitely that Bambi.
You did say Bambi, right?
The bob and weave, like the constant dodging and just being a threat. But at the end of the day, I don't know how competitive it's going to be because it's a 3 cost uninkable. If you're in a steel matchup, it's basically invalidated.
And it's not inkable, so you can't just ink it in the steel matchups either.
Yeah, but I do think it's really interesting. And then as far as favorite for competitive play, I think that Jafar is going to shake things up, and it's just going to be so much fun to play.
Yeah, that is definitely my number 1, especially, like I said, because I've become a Jafar gamer these days. Love the art, love the ability, love the illusion stuff. We all think the illusion stuff is going to be a pretty big importance of this next set, and this seems to be the key centerpiece to that. So very, very excited about Jafar for sure.
Did you know Steel has a card called Pete? And so you can do this Jafar effect, and then play something huge for free, and then play a Pete to protect your huge thing.
Ooh, that's a really cool combo for sure.
Yeah.
What set is Pete from? Do we
5.
know? He's set 5.
We have to deal with him for a whole other year.
Pete's around for a long time. Praise the Lord, everyone. Okay.
Take him away.
I think that wraps this one up. This was a little quick and dirty one, but there's so many cards to talk through that it's hard to just be really relaxed. Or again, this would be a 4-hour episode. But yeah, I think this is just super exciting. I love reveal season. I love all the new enchanteds. I love all the new tech. I think there's a lot of cool things that'll definitely shake up the meta, especially as we get into set 9 with Fabled and some of the rotations. It's going to make things really, really interesting, like we talked about on a few of these. But yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out. Hope everyone got a few fun new facts with some of these cards, a few thoughts. But we'll keep the reveal season going as the new cards continue, and we'll catch you guys on the next reveals. So thanks, guys.
Peace.